Hey guys, this is Jason speaking here. Now I know loads of you are looking at travelling Madeira this year, so I thought I'd help you out with making a video on how to make the most of your Madeira adventure. Now Madeira was truly unforgettable. It was an unbelievable experience, but there's definitely a few things that we wish we knew a little bit more of before we went. For example, is it worth renting a car? What's the local food and drink like? And where's best to stay on this island? And what hiking trails simply can I not miss? And make sure you stay around till the end of the video because the last point we're going to cover is by far the most important. So, yay or nay for renting a car? Well, it's definitely a yay. Now, despite the roads at times being very narrow and very steep, we definitely recommend getting yourselves a small car. It'll just make your lives that bit easier when you're sharing the roads with buses and trucks. Now, we rented out this little beauty. Now, this noble steed was fantastic, and we could get around anywhere we wanted on this island within about a 90 minutes drive. As soon as you start exploring the island, you'll soon see that the transportation network is unreal. And the amount of tunnels and amazing roads make it actually a fantastic experience to drive along. Now, if I'm being really honest, the only drawback with getting a smaller car is you have a smaller engine. And when you go up those big hills, your car will sound like this. Now, if you're not vibing with the idea of driving around Madeira, there are great alternatives. You can get on these Jeep safari rides, which are absolutely fantastic. It's a great way to see the island. We did it on one of our days there and we loved it. Now, if this was something that was ticking your boxes, we paid about £35 per person, and let us know if you enjoyed it as much as we did. If you're enjoying this video so far, hit the like button and subscribe. Now, if there's one thing that you've got to try whilst you're in Madeira, that's got to be puncha. This is the go-to drink on this island. Traditionally, this drink's made up of sugarcane rum, honey, and orange juice. Now, this little drink really does pack a punch. You definitely don't need many to get set on your merry way. The best place we had puncha was at this cafe in the mountains, only 10 minutes away from the famous 25 fonts. This is a perfect spot for some R&R. Promise you now, one puncha and you'll be right as rain. Okay, so food-wise, in Funchal there's a really nice street of restaurants called Rua de Santa Maria. There's plenty of Madeiran restaurants to choose upon here. You're looking at spending about 10 to 20 euros per main dish. If you want to experience a traditional Madeiran dinner, you've got to try the scabbard fish with banana and passion fruit sauce. It is a weird combo, I can't lie, but honestly it works so well. Okay, so you might not want Madeiran food every night, so we would actually highly recommend this restaurant called Mad Cuba. Now, tucked away, this lovely little restaurant had some unbelievable food. The menu ranged from 9 to 13 euros, so really reasonable. So when you do go, definitely go for the prawns and make sure you pre-order them the day before. Honestly, you won't be sorry, they are unreal, they're so good. I'm telling you now, you'll want to go back more than once to this place. Now, where's best to stay when you're actually exploring Madeira? There are plenty of options, such as the capital, staying in Funchal, or maybe going a bit further north and staying in Seixal. Alternatively, there is Ponta do Sol, or you could stay at Câmara de Lobos, which is the oldest fishing village in all of Madeira. If you are new to Madeira, I would actually suggest staying in Funchal, and there's a few reasons why. So, most Jeep safari rides only pick up from Funchal, and also you can go off from Funchal Marina to go see hopefully some whales and dolphins. Also, whilst you do stay in Funchal, you can actually go visit the Monte Palace, which is pretty incredible, and to get to see the palace you can go up on the cable car, so two birds with one stone. Possibly the best perk of staying in Funchal is that you know that you're only about a 30-minute drive away from the famous Picos. Now that's pretty cool. Now, if you're on a budget like we were, staying in Funchal, I'd probably recommend getting an apartment. We got like an Airbnb whilst we stayed there. How we looked at it is like, we're gonna probably be spending most of our time outside of where we're staying, exploring the island. So we didn't really see the value of paying out to get a hotel, but everyone's different and you do what's right for you. Now, if there's any of you listening that are digital nomads, I've got a massive shout out for you, and that is FLATIO. FLATIO is a rental housing platform for digital nomads offering hand-picked, deposit-free accommodation at some unbelievable prices, like less than £1,000 for a month's stay, which is pretty unheard of, to be honest. If this was something that was ticking your boxes, check out the link in the description below and that'll point you in the right direction. Now, if you're anything like us, you might have felt a little bit overwhelmed when you start researching all of these different hikes in Madeira. All we wanted to know is which hikes were an absolute must and were there any hidden gems that not everyone does. Now, one hike you have to do is the PR1 Pico to Pico. This is by far the most popular hike on the island. Unbelievable scenery, honestly it is insane. Now, a big attraction for this hike is the Stairway to Heaven. You'll find it just about 30 minutes into the PR1 hike. It is definitely the most epic stairway I've ever gone up. Now, what we found when we were researching this hike is that the difficulty rating for this trail was at moderate. Now, it may be only moderate for maybe the locals in Madeira, but for us, we found it pretty hard, not gonna lie. The actual hike itself was a lot busier than we anticipated. There were even some people trying to run the hike, which is pretty crazy to be fair. Now, to ensure that this experience is memorable and as stress-free as possible, I would highly recommend booking a transfer for this hike. Now, this is the one that we booked and it worked a treat for us. Now, alternatively, you could drive to the start at Pico do Arieiro, but then obviously you'd do the hike to Pico Ruvio and then you would have to walk all the way back to then drive home. With doing this transfer, you can scrap the walk back, okay, and you can just get yourself straight home. It really is a no-brainer. Now, I want to give a big shout out for the PR8 hiking trail of São Lourenço. This was low-key our favourite hike in Madeira. The trail itself wasn't that busy. You were literally just spoiled with stunning views no matter where you looked. When doing this trail, there is a fee that you have to pay. Don't worry, it's only €1 and all the money goes towards maintaining the trail. Okay, so it's to benefit tourism and also to benefit the wildlife on São Lourenço. If you want more info on the best things to see in Madeira, check out this video. The number one thing to know about Madeira is definitely the weather, as it really is a story of two halves. Now, due to the island's geological makeup with the towering mountains at the centre, this has caused a massive contrast in the weather when comparing the north to the south. You will find that the north side of the island is much greener as it sees a lot more rain year round when you compare it to the south. The south side of the island is pretty much dry all year round, so make sure when you're packing your bag you bring your raincoat and the flip-flops. Okay, so the most challenging thing to predict is the weather in the Picos. The last thing you want is to be hiking for hours, you finally get to a viewing point and you can't see anything, a bit like this. The best solution that we found was this website. This was absolutely gold dust. It was really accurate for predicting the weather in the Picos specifically. It's also worth checking out the live webcams of the Picos and also any part of the island. All this info really helped us make the most of our Madeira adventure. We hope this helps you guys, and we also hope you enjoy Madeira just as much as we have. Stay tuned for the next adventure and we'll see you guys there.